So after getting lead ingots, I was finally able to do some very important things that would really help me in the future. I also really wanted to get some gold, and I also wanted to check on my farm. Now, checking on your farm in Sky Factory is very useful, as farming is one of the main ways that you can get food, really. Unless, of course, you get like an apple tree or a form of like cookie tree that you can get, or a bacon tree. Now, I really also wanted to make sure that animals were going to spawn, which I still could not figure out. So I decided to bridge out more and see if I can make it easier. Because after I looked it up, I figured out that it has to be farther away. But I still really wanted to get gray dye, light gray dye specifically. So I still really wanted to find a flower biome, a flower forest, to say. And I was still unable to find some. I wasted a lot of slabs for no reason. I was just mainly in a burst forest the entire time. I also wanted to rebuild the mob spawner after what happened last time. Or, not really the mob spawner, but acting as like a partial house for now. But I still needed more cobblestone, so I was getting that for a bit. Because having that cobblestone would be very useful in making some other things down the road. I also went through and harvested everything, because just keeping up to date with harvesting stuff is really important. And getting molten iron is also really important. I was just trying to get a lot of iron at this point. That was my main goal. The more iron I could get, the better. Because having an iron tree really is really useful. Honestly, probably one of the most useful things in this game. So I just spent some time trying to get iron amber and more iron. I would later automate a lot of this about it auto-smelting iron. I then also needed to power it up with some more lava, so I got to work doing that. I eventually had to fight off some more mobs that were spawning in the house-like area, and not really surprised that I died, but I'm starting to really gain an appreciation for the ghost effect that allows it so mobs don't really pay attention to you if you had just died for like 30 seconds until you attack them. I really wanted to expand my farm here, and I also wanted to make it even. And that was honestly a way harder thing to do than it should have been. So some more infinite dirt tricks later, and I was able to create my farm in a more even fashion, I guess you would say. I was still working on getting more iron, but I really needed a zombie. So I created zombie seeds. Now, having those seeds is honestly a really useful addition in this mod pack. You can create animal seeds, which I heavily use later, to get things like cows and chickens. Honestly, on its own, it doesn't really grow that much, but with some bone meal, it grows a lot. I really just wanted more rotten flesh, so I was just waiting and constantly planting it over and over again. After checking on the bouncing creepers and aimbotting laser soldiers, I realized that this house area wouldn't really be that effective. I also built this tiny platform for squid to spawn after realizing that, hey, having to spend like 1,500 stacks of oak slabs to get across to an area is useless. So I eventually just added a area for squids to spawn. I also really wanted to get into energy. Now, energy would be really useful because it would allow me to get plastic. So I made a pitiful fuel generator and then had to fight off some more mobs. After my bed blew up, I decided to put it down with the squids for not really any particular reason, just because I thought it would be funny. Or I guess that is kind of a particular reason, but again, I rebuilt the house, which I wouldn't even really call it a house anymore, because it was mainly just an area for mobs to spawn and ruin my life. So after making a tree fluid extractor, which I could put next to an oak log when it is powered up, so after the tree fluid extractor is powered up, it creates latex, and when it creates that latex, I can use that latex and put it into a plastic maker, which, when given power, is able to make plastic. Which, if I get 9 plastic and combine it together, then I can get a total of 1 plastic, and I need it at least 2 to make a machine. So I decided to make more latex tree fluid extractors, and I also created another area for them to be. So after making a few of them, I just decided to move the entire setup over in an area. So after getting the wrench, I was finally able to have both tree fluid extractors harvesting the same wood block. And now time to make like 3 more fluid extractors. After replanting and my expanded farm, I decided to check for some squids, which I finally had. And this was one big progression for me. At the time I was feeling very excited because I knew that getting light gray dye would finally allow me to progress forward in the achievement list. And I made a silver sapling. Now with silver, what you can do, you can use it, silver resin, to make a diamond sapling, which I finally had. Now, after getting a diamond sapling, after, the silver sapling, I was feeling very excited. I felt very productive at the time, because not only did I get a silver sapling, but I was able to get a diamond sapling. And I finally completed a lot of the first page. I go back later on and basically complete all of this and do all of the first page, but right now I was feeling just excited, because I knew that this was a big turning point. Getting diamonds is just something that excites you, Like, even in a regular Minecraft playthrough, you just feel accomplished, You feel like you've done something. Even if you really haven't, even if you just found it luckily in, like, a village, you feel really important. Again, these guys have aimbot, so all I had to do was outplay him like the gamer I am. After trying to create another portal and failing, I realized that creating another portal like this doesn't work. You have to make it in a different way. You have to make another cake. And that's basically how you travel to every dimension, with a cake. And as an homage to the amount that I messed up, I put all the cakes, except for one, around the nether portal, because I thought that it was really funny. So I had to make a cake. So I learned that to make a supposed nether cake, I needed netherrack. And to get netherrack, and I luckily paused at the exact frame that a creeper exploded. Out of nowhere, without making any sound, I just decided to scrap the whole idea and just get rid of this area and just light it up and make it unusable. After figuring out how to put lava in a melter, I was finally able to get netherrack. And a netherrack sapling wasn't too far away. Now, honestly, netherrack isn't that important. It can be used for honestly not that much. But just having the ability to see yourself progress is just so amazing. I also really wanted to make sure that I was getting enough plastic, so I spent some time just going back and forth with water, because it required an entire bucket of water to make 1 piece of plastic, and remember, I need 9 pieces of plastic. Also, with the diamond, I finally got a block breaker, which means that I could finally automate my cobblestone generator. And at the time, I felt amazing. I felt like a genius. I also made a hopper, so I could officially make sure that it would go into a chest. And having an automated system that was giving you cobblestone was really satisfying, knowing that I would never have to mine cobblestone by myself ever again. And let me tell you, that block breaker, the auto cobble block breaker, worked the treat. Like, I had so much cobblestone after this. With some more latex, I was finally able to get through and make plastic. I need 9 tiny rubber plastics, to make 1 plastic. That's gonna wrap up the video for today. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. I got a lot done this episode. I got a diamond sapling, I got a silver sapling, I got a netherrack sapling. I had a failed attempt of getting to the nether. I automated my cobblestone generator, and I also created plastic. Now, hopefully you guys stick with this series and see the progression as it goes on. Now, that'll wrap up today's video. Hope you guys enjoy it, and see you next time.